Okay. So we should be on popping everywhere. All right, man. Anybody? Hold up. Do the poor while we disconnected. Is it back on? Because mine's showing.
No.
Okay, we good on. Are we good on Facebook?
Yeah. Well, no, let's start. Right there.
Okay. Yeah.
We just started over. I said broadcasting.
Yeah, it's tripping. Why is that thing trying to stop here? YouTube's still going. We still got that. Let me try it for a second. I think I see. Give me 1 second. Okay. Try this again. See if I can put it back in there.
Shalom, Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K. at 1 West, 125th Street.
Delete that.
Command
1 second. Crazy day right here. Hey, so with me, YouTube, man. I'm coming. Hold on 1 second. Trying to get everything back right. Shalom, Israel. It's the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior YAHANNA. This is Officer I.S.U.P.K, coming from Nashville, Tennessee. It's our Tuesday night class. Sorry we're so late, man. We're having all kinds of technical difficulties, but we still are going. All right. Did anybody have any questions?
No.
Everybody good?
Can you give me
what's up? Some precepts. That's what's up.
I mean precepts for
Young man, you didn't have any questions? Good? Yeah.
I need the breakdown for the immaculate conception breakdown.
Immaculate conception.
I think that's the one.
Let me see. Isaiah. I mean, I can throw you the precepts, and then
Salaki, sir. I need the Gentile breakdown.
Gentile. Okay, let me me see.
Gentile.
Okay, let's go to Matthew 10, 5 and 6. Let's go there first. I think that's Salaki. Let's go to Salaki. Because you understand there's two versions, right? There's two types. There's one that's born and one that's like it's like a title of an Israelite. Like an Israelite is basically taking on the customs of the heathen. Okay. So let's go to John 7 and 5. Start there first. This will tell you, right? Right? No, 7 and 35. Salaki.
I can read up. John chapter 7, verse 35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go, that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles?
Now that's key right there. You hear that part? Now, what would it mean to be dispersed among the Gentiles?
So like scattered among the Gentiles.
But now, what's the first line? What's it say? The first sentence.
Then said the Jews among themselves.
Now they're talking to the Jews, right? So then it says, now read the part.
Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles?
It's letting you know there's Jews amongst Gentiles.
Come.
See that?
Come.
Okay. Let's go to, let me make sure that's right. I think it's Matthew 10, 5 and 6.
I can read up.
Come.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 YAHANNA sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
The what?
Not into the way of the Gentiles.
So that one more time.
Go not into the way of the
Go
Gentiles.
not into the way of the Gentiles. Keep reading.
And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Keep going.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
To the what?
To the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So now what's that telling us?
That Salaki, that YAHANNA told them not to go into the way of the Gentiles. So those Gentiles that he's speaking of right here are born Gentiles.
There you go.
And he wanted them to go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right. He's talking to the disciples. He's like,
Okay.
don't go in there. Go to the lost sheep. All right. Wait. Yeah. All right. Matthew 10, 5 and 6. Thought it was another one, but those are really the meat. There's a couple ones. But that's the meat.
Salaki, and that's pretty good. Them two right there pretty good because they tell the difference.
Yeah, especially
which
that
one.
John 7 and 35.
Okay.
That go straight there. Anytime you want that precept, go straight right there.
Okay.
And then anytime you want, and make sure anytime you go to Matthew 10, 5 and 6, is that right? Yeah.
Okay.
You let them know that's Christ speaking. That's him saying that. Because Christians want to always say You know, they always want to include the white man. So that's they always want to say Jesus died for everybody and all this stuff. He's telling you right here, don't go over there with them Gentiles. Go for the lost sheep.
Salaki. I'm just playing devil advocate. A Christian would say too, because I done been in this battle before. A Christian would say, well, Paul was sent to teach those born Gentiles.
But Paul was going to the dispersed.
I'm saying, but they think that he was sent to the born Gentiles. So do I tell them that Paul didn't teach against Christ?
Right. And that's when you pull man, what's the one? Let me see. Because there's one specifically, I think, talking about Paul. Was it James 1:1? Hold on. Oh, shit. They ain't really hitting where I want to get. But let me find that for you. I'm gonna find that for you. Because there's one where Paul is specifically talking about that. But 7 and 35 is a perfect example of how the Jews were they were at that time. I think they were taking they were acting like Greeks. The Hellenists, I think they call them the Hellenists. And they was dispersed among them. They was taking on their culture because we were in captivity by the Greeks. I'm gonna find that one with Paul, man. It's more direct. I
don't know. This could be a precept, but Acts 13 and 16, he put a difference between Israel and the people that fear God.
Acts what?
13 and 16. So he's talking to the men of Israel, which would be the.
Go ahead, read it.
Then Acts 13 and 16. Then Paul stood up and beckoning with his hand said, "Men of Israel, and ye that fear God, give audience." So what I'm saying is, like, the one that feared God would have been the Jews, and the men of Israel would have been the Gentiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he put a difference between Israel, which would have been the dispersed.
Then Paul stood up and beckoning with his hand said, "Men of Israel, and ye that fear God." Well, now it's the same thing because we fear God.
But the Israel didn't, though. Israel was a Gentile. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that
well, it depends on who you're talking to, though. You know what I'm saying? Don't specifically say in that context because Israel, you know, you still fear God if you're a Jew, if you're Israelite. So you know what I'm saying? It's gotta. We have to either go some verses above it or below it, but I don't think that's a precept for that.
I was going to say if this is a precept.
What's that?
I got Acts 21. And, so we start at 19.
Okay.
Acts chapter 21, verse 19. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things Yahweh had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, "Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews that are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law. and they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they are not circumcised their children.
Now that's a good precept. 20, go straight to 21. That's a good precept. Go read that again. Read 21 again.
And they inform thee, verse 21, and they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the custom.
And that's telling you right there that they're among them. So I would use that, and I'm gonna find that one with Paul. But yeah, I would use that.
So what they're saying is they was trying to say that Paul was teaching them not to, you know what I'm saying, follow the customs of the other people. Like that. But he was teaching a particular people. He was teaching the Jews amongst the Gentiles. Whatever he was teaching. He was teaching. Yeah,
right.
He was still teaching them.
That's what he used. Anybody else?
Yeah, so don't you know how on the one I just read, 13, when it said men of Israel and God he gave them audience. So Acts 22 and 21 says, and he said unto me, depart, for I will send thee far hence unto the Gentiles. And they gave him audience unto this word, and then lifted up their voices and said, away with such a fellow from the earth, for it is not fit that he should live. So I'm saying, is that a precept for what I just read? Because the Gentiles gave him audience, and the other one was just like,
Part I will send thee far hence into the Gentiles. And they gave him on the stage. Lift up the voice and said, away with such a fellow.
Because Acts 13 and 16, men of Israel and ye that fear God give audience. He's telling them to give him audience.
It could be, yeah. It could be. I think what we looking for, I think what the brother's looking for is something specific.
Yeah, for the Gentiles.
Right. In talking about them being the Israelites being dispersed from them. Something specific on that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I got one more, just see if it's go with it too.
Where you at?
I'm in Acts chapter 11, verse 18 and 19.
Acts 11.
Acts 11.
Go ahead.
18. Acts chapter 11, verse 18. When they heard these things, they held their peace and glorified Yahweh, saying, then had God also to the Gentiles granted repentance unto life. Now they which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen traveled as far as Phoenice, Cyprus, and Antioch, preaching the word to none but unto the Jews only.
Then have God also to the Gentiles granted repentance unto life.
So they were scattered abroad upon the persecutions that arose about Stephen traveled as far, and it's telling Stephen went to all these different cities.
Right.
Well, preaching the Jews only. And these are the same cities that Paul was going to too.
Right.
So
yeah, you had to use 18 and 19. Yeah.
Verse 20 also.
Verse 20.
Hold on. He could, but the meat is in 18 and 19. That's where, yeah, that could be a precept right there. It's pretty good one right there. What's up? Yeah.
No.
Good. Okay. Y'all find your own precept. What's up? Y'all just needed me to be right here. I don't know shit.
Okay.
Y'all found your own shit.
Studying, man.
That's what's up, boy.
Man, the whole Acts It's
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. This one specific I'm looking for, man. I supposed to have
is
that.
it James?
No, yeah, I thought it was James 1:1. That ain't it. It's talking about the scattered. I thought it was Peter 1:1. That ain't it. It's talking
It's
about
something 1 and 1.
I can't grab it. No, I'll find it for you. But those are good precepts. You too, I.S. That's good precepts. Anything else? Good. All right, man. We're gonna hop on this topic then. What time is right now? What time check? Okay, so we got it. What was it? I think it was 8. Okay, that'd be perfect. We'll get it. We'll get it popping. Man, tonight we're gonna talk about Cointelpro. And the thing about Cointelpro is it was a direct attack on us. It might have seemed, when I say us, I'm talking about blacks, Native Indians, of course, Hispanics. And even one of the groups that they don't even talk about much was, I think their name was something Native Americans. But they were targeted, you know what I mean? Meaning that there was an organized group that was targeted using Cointelpro. And Cointelpro is just a strategy, man. It's a strategy people that the FBI used basically to dive in to any organization or any group of people that was trying to be unified. Because one thing that America is scared of is they're scared of not knowing who you are and not knowing what you're up to. You're talking about the same country that has satellites looking at the world. Because they got to know what you're doing in Iran, what you're doing in North Korea. They got to know all that, but they don't want nobody knowing what they're doing. So what we're going to go into first, it's all about identity. If they feel that if they can destroy what makes you you, they can find a weak link, find some kind of glitch. They figure that they can destroy you. So where we're going to go first, I'm going to go to the Bible, of course, and I'm going to pull out some of our identity in the Bible. Some of it is just like a lot of our identity, of course, is like the curses. That's how you can identify us a lot of times, based on the Bible, because the curses don't fit nobody but us.
That's right.
But what I'm gonna dive into tonight is basically there's some color scriptures and identity scriptures. So first we're gonna hit, and why I'm doing this is because I'm showing our identity in the Bible. Then we're gonna go directly into Cointelpro to show that they do nothing but go for people's identity. And if they find a weak link in you, in your organization, your group, they're going to destroy you from the inside out by any means. And I mean like some evil stuff. They will send their own agents in to play games like they did with the organization I.S.U.P.K that we learned about with Kwanzaa. And they'll start passing fake letters to each other, making it look like you hating on one another, but y'all ain't even writing nothing to each other. You know, stuff like that. You know, and it's tripped out because Cointelpro actually started from infiltrating Russians. They infiltrated Russia, put in their spies, and that's how they got this strategy together. And they went from Russia to the mafia, and in the 60s, 70s, they start hitting all these different black organizations, and they still doing it now. So go ahead.
So it started off as going against communists.
It's a communist party called U.S. Communists, and they had the same beliefs as Russia, and they became some of Russia's spies. So Cointelpro was invented by J. Edgar Hoover, and he was the director of the FBI. He took to him. He had so much dirt on presidents, congressmen, you name it, that he could do what he wanted to do. If he wanted to make a move on J. Edgar Hoover, he'll pull out that tape. Like, you remember when I caught you doing this? He have video, he have recordings. A lot of the tapes that have came out about MLK came from him. He even had, because what happened was, it was a group of, I forgot the name of these white people. It was a group of them though. And after J. Edgar Hoover died, they broke into this facility where all this stuff was, and they got everything in files that said Cointelpro on them, and they started releasing it. So that's where you getting a lot of these recordings and videos and tapes is from all the work that J. Edgar Hoover did, because he hated like black organizations with a passion.
So
that's what he directly targeted. Go ahead.
Was that Watergate? I think it's what.
Watergate was Richard Nixon. He had dirt on him too. Richard Nixon was, they were cool, but it was like one of them things where like you keep one eye on them, kind of like you keep your enemies close. They went with that because they needed each other. But because at this time, there's a tape out that probably Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover, that he put out about Nixon, talking about how many black people were starting to populate. And we got to do something about this. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to another one of his members. And that tape probably came from J. Edgar Hoover. He put in a lot of work just spying on people so he could get power, because see, nobody was above him in the FBI. He totally dictated that organization. He ran it all. And he had full power by the government to do whatever you got to do. So that dude had so much power that he started scaring the government. You know what I mean? They were so scared, they were scared to kill him.
So didn't he get his most of his fame from the Prohibition era?
Yeah. You talking about Al Capone? Not Al Capone. Might not have been that far back, but it might have been. But all the gangsters, mafia, he got a lot of his. That's how he got his foot in the door. That's how they came up with the whole, what they call it. They used to call it the G-Men. It's called the G-Men. So I guess that was around Elliot Ness and all this other type stuff. But yeah, he first started. Well, God, that's a good point. It got him. That got him notoriety. Got him famous. Got his face up there. So like, you want something done, man, put J. Edgar Hoover on. So then when he starts moving up in the ranks, takes over, comes the ultimate monster. And we already talked about monsters, so we know how America creates it. But see, this is a perfect example of how America will create a monster and you have no idea what you just created. Now you scared of this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it got so much dirt on you. But at the same time, it's doing the work that you want done, because you really want the identity of, and don't get me wrong, man, the US organization, SNCC, what is it called? SNCC. Black Panthers, they was trying to do what's going on.
For the Native Americans, it was the American Indian movement.
That's what it was.
In 1968.
There you go. That's the one that was targeted also. What? They were trying to do the right thing, but what their foundation was corrupted. The Black Panthers they wasn't organized enough. And why I say that is because why I say that is because what's his name? Huey P. Newton. Dude started getting on that stuff. He started abusing drugs. You had a couple other members. One cat that was solid, we're gonna talk about a little bit. I think his name was Fred Hampton. He was solid, but it's still the way they was doing things. They were unifying, they was making noise, but they wasn't under the Most High, man. At the end of the day, and that's the reason why, I mean, the UPK, you can come in here if you want to. One or two things gonna happen. Either you're gonna get bored because all we do is talk about the truth and being ourselves, or you gonna come and join the fold. One thing gonna happen.
So I was just gonna say, Fred Hampton, he was, but he was like we we talked about in a prior class.
Hmm.
He was a humanitarian.
Right.
He the one who coined that term, black power for black people, white power for white people, brown power for brown people.
And see, that's where he messed up.
Come.
If you need to be solely solid for our people. That's it. And even our people is, of course, not just black people, Hispanics, Native Indians. But see, if they had this, if they was up under the UPK with all that organization like that, much more powerful. They've been much more powerful. And then the Cointelpro would have done nothing because it don't have no weak link. It looks for something weak in you. Any kind of weak link. Somebody that did something slick. Somebody then selling drugs on the side. Somebody killing people on the low. You know, something. That's all they need. And once they put them agents in there, man, they about to destroy you from the inside out like a virus. All right? My bad, man. I went on a tangent. Let's go. Let's go on. Let's hit this. Let's hit these identity scriptures, man. Let's hit these color scriptures. Oh, Shalom, Karash. Shalom. I want to hit Daniel 7 and 9 first. Like I said, we're just going to find out identity in the Bible. And then we're going to dive into this Cointelpro. Because y'all probably need these precepts anyway.
Come.
Daniel 7 and 9.
Daniel 7 and 9. I beheld to the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
Who is this we talking about? I figured y'all know. We just got to talk about this saying. What's up? Who we talking about?
The Most High.
The Most High. Okay, keep reading.
Whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
Now, of course, this is a vision by Daniel. So this, like, there's it's not like he's actually seeing that, but what is the fiery flame and his wheels is burning fire?
That's the chariots.
Come, that's the chariots. So now you're seeing the identity of the Most High in the Bible. Let's go to Revelations 1, 13 through 15.
Yes. Come.
Revelations 1 and 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
Oh, right there. Start over. Say it again.
Revelations 1 and 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks.
Does anybody know what would be the midst of the 7 candlesticks? What would we be talking about?
Go
ahead.
The 7 churches.
Good. 7 churches. During what time?
Salak.
Go ahead.
Doing Paul's ministry.
There you go. All right. See, y'all been studying. Okay. Let's hit, keep reading.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
Start at 1.
Revelation 1?
No, started right after candlesticks. 1.
One like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Now, what are we talking about right here? And it says, first of all, what is Son of Man?
Salak. YAHANNA.
Come. And what are we talking about when it says clothed with a garment down to the foot and girt about the paps? What are we talking about here?
It's like like a warrior's belt.
The war belt. There you go.
Around his midsection.
And then what's the rest talking about?
His garment was starting from the girt about the paps with the golden girdle, or the garments down to the foot.
Well, you just talked about what's the girt.
Or the girt is a war belt.
Come on, now go after that. What's that? Read that right after the girt.
About the paps with a golden girdle.
So give me an image on how Yahawashi look. According to this. According to that.
It's like he had a full garment.
Okay.
That went to his foot with a golden belt.
Yeah, he's in all gold. He's got gold all on him. It's a full garment. He got this big war belt on. Okay. Just for those that want to talk about sexy Jesus, man. Come on. You look like that. You look like a warrior.
That's right.
All right. Let's hit 14.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
What is it to be for your hair to be white like wool?
Salak. He had head and his beard was white because he had wisdom.
Now, who has the texture of wool? What does that mean?
That's the black folks had texture of wool.
There you go. Y'all see what I'm trying to get you to understand identity. That's why I'm getting you to say these things. Just giving you a picture of what he looks like. Keep going.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
What's that mean? Does it mean he's angry? I know, the Lord always talks about fire when he's hot. So does that mean he's angry?
Salak. It means that his eyes were red because he drunk wine.
There you go. All right. You've been watching videos, you ain't been studying.
Yeah,
Good stuff, man. Keep reading now, y'all.
And his feet unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Okay, so what does it mean for you? And this is, this UPK 101 right here.
God.
But we doing it for education, and plus we talking about identity. So what does it mean for his feet to be like brass, as if they, go ahead, read it.
As if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Just that furnace part. What does his feet look like?
Like,
let me ask this question first. If your feet look one way, what's that mean about the rest of your body?
it's like they look the same way.
Okay. So what's his feet look like?
Very dark.
What color is brass?
Brass is derivative of brown.
And then once you put something in the furnace,
it darkens.
Turning
black.
There you go. All right. Make sure when y'all, you become officers and you breaking these scriptures down, especially you at camp, you break it down just like that. You know what I'm saying? So they can't deny. Can't nobody say nothing against that. Well, he was white up here, and he had black burnt feet. Come on, go ahead.
So like a lot of Christians say that he was Middle Eastern.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Black, like he been burned. Come on, man.
I heard people say that he's olive, and my question always is which one, the green one or the black one?
Right. And of course they gonna do anything to give it to you.
God.
Anything to not have somebody they hold so high up to look like you, not you, nigga. You know what I mean?
God.
So, man, make sure you break that scripture down real slow when you break it down. Keep reading now, y'all. That last part.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
Now, what's this mean? When he talks, sound like somebody turned the sink on, or you got a waterfall. I mean, what's that mean? I'm just, what's up? Go ahead.
But Is very stern, very strong voice.
Very loud.
Loud.
Strong voice. All right. Let's hit up. That's it for that, right?
Come.
Okay. Let's hit Dan 10 and 5. Dan 10, 5 and 6. And again, these are your precepts for. These are like color scriptures, identity scriptures.
It's like Daniel 10.
Daniel 10, 5 and 6. Come.
Come.
Daniel 10, verse 5. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen.
Now, who's lifting up their eyes right now?
So like Daniel.
So what's that mean he's doing?
He's he's bound. Or he's at someone's foot.
Well, what is he doing right now? Like what is this? When he's seeing this, what is he actually doing?
He's visualizing.
He's having a vision.
Right.
Okay. This is Daniel having another vision. Keep going.
And behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz.
Meaning what?
He was in all gold. He had he was girded with the gold.
With what? What he got on?
His wore like a parrot.
Garment.
Garment.
Okay. Keep going.
His body also was like the beryl.
What is that? Like the beryl.
Salak. Is that a brown?
It's like a I don't want to say it, like dark green.
Green.
Yeah, green.
Green. You'll hear the same thing when you'll hear beryl when they talk about angels in the Bible. I think it's the chariots. Like you'll see that beryl again. But anytime you see beryl in the Bible, it's green. Keep going.
And his face as the appearance of lightning.
Now, what does that mean? He have a look of shock. I mean, what that mean?
Salak.
What's up?
He had a bright appearance. It was like how when Moses came out the mountain.
It's like a serious look.
Serious
look.
Yeah, serious face, man. Yeah, y'all been studying. Okay. Keep going.
And his eyes as lamps of fire. And his arm.
What's that mean? Lamps of fire. Right? But this is really mirroring what we just read. You dig what I'm saying? I just want y'all to understand it. Keep going.
And his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude.
Now again, you see how it's referring to the color of his skin with brass, and then it's talking about how he speaks.
Salak, this is in depth too, because it's talking. It literally says his hands and his feet were in color,
right,
of polished brass.
That's why you use this when they want to fight Revelation. Okay, you want to fight that? Okay.
The counter.
Then you tell your reader, if you just talk to him straight up one-on-one, okay, let's read this one then. Because how you gonna keep buck dancing? Like one of these gotta make sense to you now. You sounding crazy. You know what I'm saying? So go, what's up? Oh, you good? All right. Let's go to Ezekiel 1. That was it for that, right? Okay, let's go to Ezekiel 1, 5 through 7. And this one's a little twist, man. This is like a little. For you that already know, it probably won't be, you'll know what it is right when you get there.
Come.
Ezekiel 1, verse 5. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of man.
What's that mean if they had the likeness of man? It said they were creatures at first. Go ahead.
It's like, they had man bodies,
Yeah.
bodies of men.
They look real familiar to a man. All right, Salaki, go ahead. Keep reading.
And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass.
So what are we talking about right here? Y'all should know this.
We talking Salak. I mean, these are angels,
Mm-hmm.
and they got 4 faces, 4 wings, and they was the color of Christ. I mean, everybody, and all of them,
Okay, how you know that?
because they was had the color of burnt brass.
Now they keep talking, say burnt brass. Oh, burnished brass, same
Burnished
thing.
brass.
Same thing. Y'all keep seeing how they keep using brass. That same I say connection to what everybody's looking like in the Bible, man. Only one that looks weird is when they say he was red like a garment, hairy all over. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying that backwards. He was red and hairy like a garment all over. But that's the only one that stood out. And why they have to explain that? Because everybody else looked black. Everybody was black. So we already getting an identity in the Bible for how people look. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah 14:2. Got a couple more. We'll be done with the scriptures.
I can get it.
Come.
Judah mourneth, Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
Hold on. Slow down. Read that again.
Judah mourneth.
Now hold on right there. What does that mean? First of all, who's Judah?
Salak,
Go ahead.
4th son of Jacob.
So this is the 4th son of Jacob right here?
Well, it's actually talking about the southern kingdom.
Right. It's talking about Judah. It's talking about a group, the tribe. All right. Now what does it mean when it says Judah mourning?
It's Salak.
Mm-hmm.
That they're in despair.
What do you mean?
They're mourning for the stuff that they're going through.
Like what?
Like being oppressed
How?
through captivity.
Okay, but okay. Are we in mourning?
Calm.
We are? How?
We are getting killed in the streets. We got the biggest abortion rate out of all the people.
There you go. More direct. You know what I'm saying? We got here what's really going on.
Calm.
The same thing we going through now, man, it's the same thing they going through to make them in mourning. So that's what being in mourning is. Right. I just want you to get specific. That's all. Keep reading.
And the gates thereof languish.
Now, what would be the gates?
Like,
and how would, hold on one second. Read that again.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
Now, what does that mean when it says the gates thereof languish? Go ahead.
Defenses or protection.
Right. To have a gate is to have protection, fences, right? Now, what would be our gate now?
So like our so-called black leaders.
Good. Our so-called black leader. The reason why you say so-called?
Because they are protecting us at all.
They really not gates. So what does it mean? Read that again.
And the gates thereof languish.
So what does it mean? The gates thereof languish. What did you just tell me?
That they're not protecting us at all.
The what?
The so-called black leaders.
So what would it mean for the gates to languish? It's the same thing like now. It's the same thing that's happening here. So what would that mean for the gates to languish? Because y'all told me gates are defense, right? And then when you talk about gates, those are black leaders. So and you told me the black leaders are so-called black leaders because what?
Because they don't defend us.
Okay, so what does that mean, language?
That means that they're leaving us for the prey.
Okay, so that's not a. Well, go ahead. What you want to say?
Like they slacking. Like they.
Y'all saying it, but I want this exact. This,
language loose. Like the gates are loose.
If you,
they're not protecting us.
Which makes you
vulnerable,
weak.
Weak.
Language is weak. So that means that these black leaders, so-called black leaders, like he said, are weak. We don't have any gates. We don't have these so-called black leaders. It's like these people didn't have any gates at this time. Yeah, keep going.
They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
Read again.
They are black unto the ground.
What's that mean right there?
So like, the conditions that we're in is causing us to be. I'm trying to think of the word.
Really, it's referring. I mean, what you're saying is true, but in this context, it's referring to there's different shades of brown and brown. Remember, we talking about identity. That's what he's referring to. Was you gonna say something? Okay. Read that last part out. That last part.
And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
What's that mean?
That the most out.
You trying to get all of them, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Abortion rate is gone up.
The murder rate that's true. But what's that causing people to do?
Like the prayers to the Most High.
The cries are going up. So what would the Most High do?
Yeah, right. And change our condition.
How?
Person in captivity.
How? You gonna come down here?
It's like by sending prophets into the earth.
Who's the number one?
Savior's
coming down. He hears your cries. He's gonna send that Savior here. Okay. Let's hit Songs of Solomon 1 and 5.
Verse 1 and 5?
Chapter 1, verse 5. Yeah.
I'm gonna come. I can let it.
Take your time out.
Songs 1 and 5.
No, Songs of Solomon. Song of Solomon.
Song of Solomon 1 and 5.
Hold on, let's see if I can got it.
One and 5.
You get it, man? It's right before Isaiah.
Okay.
Yeah, you good right there.
I got lost real quick. But
Take your time, Michael. Get there. Got it? Okay.
Song of Solomon 1 and 5. I am black, but calmly, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon.
So who is I am? Who is that? Who's saying I am? Go ahead.
Solomon.
And what's he saying? I'm black and comely. What does he mean? Like the tents of Kedar. Go ahead.
He's black and attractive.
Good way to put that. Yeah, he called himself fly, beautiful, whatever you want to say. Let's just get Job 30 and 30. And these scripts are pretty blatant. they come, they right at you. All right. So yeah, whenever you get it, whoever gets to read it.
Come. Job 30 and 30. My skin is black upon me. My skin is black upon my skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat.
Basically, right there is blatant. My skin is black. Another identity, another color for you right there. All right, we're gonna get one more. We're gonna get Acts 13 and 1. Last one.
Come. I can get it.
Come. Should be right before Romans.
Come. Acts 13 and 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers.
Okay, so they are at Antioch. We're talking about certain prophets and teachers that are here. Go ahead.
As Barnabas.
That's one. Keep going.
And Simeon.
That's another one. Keep going.
That was called Niger.
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 Yeah. Either Niger or yeah. That's the white version. I guess you could say either one. But what they're saying, you can stop right there. It's really a Latin word that means black. You know what I'm saying? It came over to America. So,
it's like, did you want me to get it in?
If you want to look it up, yeah, go ahead. You get over to America, some white boys gonna mispronounce it, add a G and say nigger. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Like I seen this little documentary about the founding forefathers or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like they was illiterate. Like they mispronounced stuff and spelled stuff differently when they came over here. Like it was like, I guess.
I believe that. You know I believe that. Go ahead. You got to go ahead.
Niger.
Now what you reading that out of?
Oh, it's like this is out of the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. Niger, black, a surname of Simeon, one of the 5 prophets and teachers of the church at Antioch, who were led of the Lord to send forth Paul and Barnabas on the first missionary journeys.
There you go. You good right there. That match right up with it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, we just went over the identity of our nation in the Bible. Plain and simple. Some identity was established about a vision about the Most High. All right. You had visions about Christ. So the whole point of me doing that is just to show that identity is important. Identity is what makes you you. You know what I mean? It's important. That's why a lot of our people today are lost in doing every crazy, grabbing any kind of doctrine they can, because what they trying to do, they trying to find their identity. They want to know who they are. And people take advantage of that. You know, Roman Catholics take advantage of it. Muslims take advantage of it. You name it. And the whole key in America is what the white man does, which is his favorite weapon. In John 8:44, he will lie and lie and lie, because he trying to hide your identity, because he know if you find out who you are, he's done. And I'm not talking about your everyday white boy. He ain't gonna know, because he's too much enjoying heaven. I'm talking about the people that really are in power, that have been doing all this evil through their families for centuries. They know the truth, man. They know about the dark ages, what really went down. They know who really was ruling. So they don't want that no more. And they know if it comes this time, it's over for good. So brings me into Cointelpro. Now, what would be the point of using Cointelpro if you had to guess?
So to keep power, and suppress the people who are being oppressed.
Because what happens if these people unify and you have no idea what they're doing?
So like you
in a mind frame of America.
You would you have no idea what they're doing, and they unified, coming from all of the stuff that and I'm putting myself in the white man's shoe. Mm-hmm. All the stuff that I've done to these people, mm-hmm. and they unified, they're gonna eventually turn and do it back onto me.
Right. Right.
And that's my greatest fear.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. That's what their greatest fear is. J. Edgar Hoover came up with a strategy to take out any Black, Hispanic, Native, Indian organization from the inside out. He's done it. He did it so many times that he knew it was going to work. All he needed was that weak link, one weak link, and he in there. Started, like I said, from using the Cointelpro against Russia. Then he used it against the U.S. communists. Then he would use it with the, like you said, the prohibition, mafia. And as he's doing this, he's getting this ego. So now he starts to see Black people were starting to unite around the 60s and 70s. So his main objective was to annihilate all that. He even went after the homosexuals. He did go after them also. So there was nobody there was nobody that was not on his scope. Everybody was on it. All right. So we're gonna go into this, and we're gonna talk a little bit about, man, boy, I don't even want to go in on his life, man, because that'd be a long time. We're gonna stick on Cointelpro. All right. And this is just a little introduction, and then we're gonna get into that real work. All right. Go ahead.
Time check 7:23.
Oh, that's perfect. We're making good time. All right. Counterintelligence program. That's what Cointelpro stands for. All right. It's not an actual word. It's just kind of like an acronym, but they're using the first parts of counterintelligence and program. It was instituted by J. Edgar Hoover to tear down any Black organization with a reason, it's reason to bring Black people together in an attempt to unify. So basically, any Black organization that was trying to come together and unify, It was built to tear that down. This strategy was created from the same plan used to bring down mafia crime families. And before that time also was used against Russia intelligence or spies. Now, there's this representative called, his name was Pete McCloskey. He was around the time of, he made this statement around the time of the Black Panthers. He said that spreading false, what Cointelpro did was it would spread false information about Black and other groups so they would be engaged to kill each other. Kill each other. It wasn't just to take them down and destroy them. He wanted them to actually take each other out. So that's less work he got to do. You dig? All right. And this program was kept secret. This is from him. And this program was kept secret and was supposed to be a silent program, never to get out. So ain't nobody still to this day supposed to know about this, Cointelpro. There was an FBI agent that admitted that bringing down the bringing down of Geronimo Pratt was due to Cointelpro. I don't know if y'all know about Geronimo Pratt. He was with the Black Panthers. There was this murder. I think it was called tennis court murder. He was basically framed for it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it.
So I think it was just released not too long ago.
Come.
I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Let me get back. Okay. Now this is a FBI agent's quote. Let me start over. There was an FBI agent that admitted that the bringing down of Geronimo Pratt was due to Cointelpro. It is my firm belief, this is the FBI agent, it is my firm belief that Pratt was framed for or not permitted a fair trial in the tennis court murder as a result of actions of agents from Squad 2 of Los Angeles. This belief is based upon FBI documents I have seen and the fact that in 1970, Pratt was a Black Panther Party functionary. So basically, he participated in the Black Panthers. All right, that's what functionary means. To be neutralized under Cointelpro. This was written by Wesley Swearingen, a former FBI special agent. All right, so that's coming from an FBI agent that Cointelpro was the reason for Geronimo Pratt being accused of that murder. All right, now let's hit that first page out. She's gonna grip that. I just wanted to bring it in. Anybody had any comments? You up with me? Fight now.
Yeah.
We're getting to the meat. All right, go ahead.
Cointelpro.
Let me know when you about to get to the green.
Read to the green.
No, when you about to. Matter of fact, let me know. Like when you read, when you get to the green, just say I'm about to hit green. Or maybe you shouldn't say that. I'm about to hit green. Just tell me you're about to read green.
Cointelpro. Between 1956 and 1971, the Federal Bureau of Investigation conducted a campaign of domestic counterintelligence. The agency Domestic Intelligence Division did more than simply spy on U.S. citizens and their organizations.
All right. Now, what date was that again?
1956 and 1971.
1956 to 1971?
No, and 1970.
Okay. That's crazy. But that's letting you know how long they've been doing it, since 1956. Keep going.
Its ultimate goal was to disrupt, discredit, and destroy certain political groups. The division's operations were formerly known within the Bureau as Cointelpro, the brainchild of former FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover.
Say that part again.
The brainchild of former FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover.
Now, that's important. It lets you know that this was his baby. He created this thing. All right? Keep going.
The first Cointelpro campaign targeted the U.S. Communist Party in the mid-1950s.
Now, that's letting you know about the U.S. Communist Party. They basically had the same beliefs. They was kind of siding with Russia, which, of course, would scare America, which would make J. Edgar Hoover want to really fight and get rid of these cats.
SHALAM.
Go ahead.
I want to say Martin Luther King was part of the Communist Party and stuff like that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was a lot of different groups that was part of the Communist Party. A lot of black people who was part of the Communist Party because they was against America.
It's like to add on to that.
They shared a lot of views.
He was taking money actually from the communists, the real communists he had backing. Yeah, so that
I believe that. I believe that. Keep going.
More organizations came under attack in the 1960s. FBI agents worked to subvert civil rights groups, radical organizations, and white supremacists. Cointelpro existed primarily because of Director Hoover's extreme politics and ended only when he feared an exposure by his critics.
Now, hold right there. Now, that's right there saying that he went against every organization, even the KKK. Now, let me put y'all on some game with that. That's a damn lie. The only reason why he had agents in the KKK, the only reason why he even put pressure on the KKK, which he did, is because they started getting caught with murder. They started getting their hands was too dirty. It's too bloody. So he was getting pressured by the government to stop it. Because now, what's the main thing J. Edgar Hoover don't want to happen? Think about it. He done made a name for himself, destroying the U.S. Communist Party, destroying Russian spies, what they want to do, infiltrating black organizations, infiltrating what's the Native American organization?
American Indian movement.
That too. So what's the worst thing J. Edgar Hoover could have right now?
He didn't want to lose his power.
He did not want to lose his power. And to lose his power would be, well, you're doing this, but you can't handle that. Like you can handle all this lightweight stuff, but you can't handle the Klan. He don't want that. So if anything, all he got to do is make a call to a couple of guys. Look, man, I'll calm that down. He got people in there. Remember, he got tapes, video of everybody. So you telling me he couldn't calm them people down? Only to an extent, just a little bit, but they can still put in work on the blacks. They didn't care about nothing about that. All right, keep reading now. You need him to read? You good? All right.
A public uproar followed revelations in the news media
Next. It's like
in the early 1970s, and congressional hearings criticized Cointelpro campaigns in 1976. In 1956, Hoover interpreted a recent federal law, the Communist Control Act of 1954, as providing the general authority for a covert campaign against the U.S. Communist Party. Officially, the law stripped the party of the rights, privileges, and immunities.
All right, now let me tell y'all what's happening right now. What year was that? 1956? All right, is that right?
Yeah, 1956.
All right, you can put that, when you get done with that reading that paper, you just put it on the ground, because I'm going to have him, matter of fact, get him the last 2 pages. He going to read that. Give you a little break. What's happening is J. Edgar Hoover is doing this thing. He's putting so much pressure on this Communist Party, the U.S. Communist Party, well, not party, but organization, that he shut them down. He came up with what's the name of that act?
It's the Communist Control Act.
The Communist Control Act. So basically, he compiled so much dirt on him. That's all dude doing. He surveilled. That's what Cointelpro do. It digs its claws in you. They get up as much surveillance and I don't know, what you call it, some conspiracy. I forgot the name of it. It's like a charge, but they compile so much evidence against you that they present it before Congress, and they like, look at all this people are doing. It's a threat towards towards America, towards the government. And then they come up with a law to shut you down. That's exactly what they did to them.
It's like,
go ahead.
The RICO Act.
What you saying is that?
Was that like what you was trying to explain?
Yeah.
The law when they compile so much evidence against you?
No, they wasn't a RICO Act. It's like when they I got it from like when they watch drug dealers, they get them on like conspiracy. But they don't actually have nothing. They got all this evidence like surveillance and stuff. You know, keep going up.
SHALAM.
Go ahead.
So that would be like the brother was talking about during his interview, how he was saying that they had a lot of stuff on him. Mm-hmm. You know, like he had charges and stuff, you know, and he had they tried to use his you know, he was on the run. They were trying to use his child support against him. Right. It was just all different little stuff that they had on him, and they was like, okay, you know,
we can get rid of that.
Get rid of this stuff.
What's the one thing they couldn't get rid of though?
Child support.
The child support. They weren't gonna touch that.
No,
you know what I mean? Yeah. And then another messed up part. I'm glad you brought that up. Another messed up part about I think it's Officer Karash. Karash. Another messed up part was, and he knocked that down, was he was saying how he was, you know, he was in a bind to get to class and whatnot. And man, they was getting ready to throw the man 3 G's a month.
Get him a car. And all this,
and take care of all the rest of the business too. So like what they did most of the time with in his particular situation, they just listened. That's all they did. They surveillance, just listen. Now what he need? What he got now? What's the bait? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what can I use just to lure you this way a little bit? I mean, he the most subtle beast on the field, like. He gonna use anything he can against you, you know?
The butter strong.
Yeah.
Brother, he fought that thing.
Yeah, man. And what that did is it brought light to this is real. You know what I'm saying? It made me want to know what Cointelpro was. So I'm going to do my part on helping brothers and sisters understand what this thing is. Because this thing is real. It's not like it died with J. Edgar Hoover. It's still here. You dig what I'm saying? All right, keep going up.
Attended upon legal bodies created under the jurisdiction of the laws of the United States. Hoover saw the party as a peril to the national security and ordered a large-scale effort to infiltrate and destabilize it. Employing classic espionage techniques, FBI agents joined the party and recruited informants.
Now, who's this we talking about?
The FBI agents joined the parties and recruited informants.
Let's talk about the communist group. No, I'm about to hit an angle. What's ahead of that?
Oh, that's the beginning of the paragraph.
What organization are we talking about here? That's what I want to find. Because what's happening right here is the FBI is sending in agents. And when those people become when they become members of this group, they start recruiting people. Guess who they recruiting?
Their own agents.
Agents. See how, man, see how slick that is. That's why I want you to find who you talking about. Because it's either the KKK or the communists.
It's still a communist.
Okay, then that's what we talking about. That's what I want to get across. But that's an angle. That's a way they do things. They get into whatever organization it is. They become part of that. Then when they start doing recruiting, they recruit their own. They start recruiting agents. And what these agents doing? All kinds of surveillance on you, building stuff up. Keep going.
They spread decision at party meetings by raising embarrassing questions about the recent Soviet invasion of Hungary, for instance, or about Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev denunciation of the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin.
Keep going.
Who had been a hero to the U.S. communist. Agents also engaged in whispering campaigns identifying party members to employers and neighbors.
Now, what that's talking about is once these agents got inside, they started creating division. They started creating arguments. Why we doing this? Why we doing that? We shouldn't even do this. They just creating just drama all up in this organization. So then it's starting to, like he said, it's starting to split up. You think what I'm saying? What was that last part you said? Something else.
Agents also engaged in whispering campaigns identifying party members to employers and neighbors.
Now that sounds like snitching. Like they was trying to stay low, but now they starting to reveal who they are. You know they part of the communist group. They was trying to stay low. You know what I'm saying? Now they starting to bring them on out. Keep going.
The FBI intensified its harassment by enlisting the Internal Revenue Service to conduct selective tax audits of party members. And it spread rumors within the party itself, employing a practice known as snitch jacketing.
So basically, they start getting the IRS involved to audit you. Once you get that, boy, you coming out some bread, jail time, penalties. You see how hard they coming at them. And it all started with a couple of them, like roaches. It starts with a couple of them. You don't take care of them, you got like hundreds. Go ahead.
And he got all authority to do it, and he got all of the different means of the government to use. And
it's like it's infinity, man. How many agents you need? How much money you need? You need some more cars? Can you go sleep with his wife? Can you get some information from her? Go ahead.
During that time, I think they was running heavy campaigns through TV to recruit
agents. I believe it.
From starting at children.
I believe
having
that.
cartoons and everything,
making it look cool
to become G-men and stuff like
right.
that.
I believe that. Go ahead. Is that all you got? What time is it? Okay. All right. How far are you?
I'm just not getting on the green. I still got a whole more page. I got 2 pages.
I need to cover this. Give me a second. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, I'm reading the whole thing, not the green.
Go ahead, read.
That painted loyal members as FBI informants, and all the government executed 1,388 separated documented efforts, and they worked, whereas party membership was an estimate 22,000 in the early 1950s. It fell to some 3,000 by the end of 1957.
Say it again.
In all, the government executed 1,388 separated documented efforts, and they worked, whereas party membership was an estimated 22,000 in the early 1950s. It fell to some 3,000 by the end of 1957.
So they lost 3,000. No, they started at.
They executed 1,300
Mm-hmm.
separated documents, and they worked. Whereas party membership was an estimate 22,000
Right.
in the early 1950s. It fell to some 3,000 by the end of 1957.
They lost 17,000 members. They hit them hard.
They lost how much?
If they had 20,000, and then by I forgot what year.
Early 1950s.
Okay, and then they got left with 3,000.
At the end of 1950s.
They lost 17,000 members due to Cointelpro. That's destruction. They destroyed them, man. Let me do this, I.S.U.P.K. Grab a phone, get them a call, see if they can sit it right by your car. All right. If you need to step out, you can. Pick up where he left off out. You good? Okay. I think you say the last paragraph, because this is important, man.
After his initial success, Hoover did not rest. From the late 1950s through the end of 1960s, he unleashed his agents against a wide range of political groups. Some were civil rights organizations, such as the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP.
Okay, so now after he done took out the communists, after he done took out the communist group, the U.S. Communist Group, now he coming for the political organizations, so-called NAACP. He's gonna go, I think, some other Southern Christian Union or something. Go ahead.
Others were radical, such as the Black Panther Party, the American Indian Movement.
There it is. Now I want people to listen to that, man. It's so crazy that they going after the Negroes, the American Indians, and best believe the Hispanics was in there somewhere. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And the Socialist Worker Party. Yet another target was the nation's oldest white hate group, the Ku Klux Klan. Although Hoover was less enthusiastic about pursuing it.
Say that again.
Although Hoover was less enthusiastic about pursuing it.
Now, what? That's crazy. They just had to throw that in there, huh?
Yeah.
Because they know. Keep going.
And did so chiefly because of political pressure resulting from the Klan's highly publicized murders of civil rights workers.
Now, what did we talk about earlier? You hear what he just said? Read that again,
about pursuing it, and did so chiefly because of political pressure resulting from the Klan's highly politicized murders of civil rights workers.
Now, that's saying that the only reason why he started going in on the KKK is because of the murders of the civil rights workers.
The political pressure to do it.
Because if you in politics, hey, what are you doing? You're going to mess up my campaign. And best believe they don't come too hard on them. Because why? In other words, they're not going to talk too funky to J. Edgar Hoover. Why?
Because he had dirt on him.
Thank you. He got them in their pocket, man. Only thing he wanted to not do is lose his power. It'll make him look like he weak. All right, keep going up.
In eternal evidence, Hoover's motive for these operations is given as the need to stamp out communism and subversion. But the historical record reveals a muddier picture. What turned Hoover's attention to the NAACP, for example, was the organization's criticism of FBI hiring practices for excluding minorities.
Now, see, Hoover tried that he was cracking down on. They are, and you see what I had to do to this other U.S. communist group, which goes about y'all was saying M.O.K. has something to do with the communist group. All right, so it's kind of crazy how he's using that as an excuse. But the truth of the matter was he got pissed because they started complaining about y'all not hiring federal agents. So he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna show you why we don't. You know what I'm saying?
Con.
Go ahead.
In the scope and tactics, these FBI operations occasionally went much further than the original anti-communist Cointelpro effort. They involved at least 20 burglaries of offices of the SCLC, an organization headed by Martin Luther King.
Now he goes in on them. He goes in extra hard. Because what did it say? It said it was more excessive practice. What did it say?
It was the scope of their tactics occasionally went much further than the original anti-communist Cointelpro effort.
So meaning that he went extra hard on them. He went as far as to burglarizing, to look for stuff, maybe plant stuff, bug, wiretap, whatever. He went extra hard on them. Keep going.
Hoover detested King. He hated King.
Yeah, he did.
Whom he called one of the most reprehensible individuals on the American scene today.
The only reason why he probably hated King was King seemed like he was uniting all the black people. It seemed like King was getting more power than J. Edgar Hoover, which he do not like. When it seemed like his power was getting edged up on, he's coming for it. You know what I'm saying? And we all know MLK had the people's minds tricked. It wasn't necessarily power. It was more of a he was pacifying the people. I'm gonna give you what you want, what I think you want. Everything gonna be all right. You just need to do this. And he did the worst thing any man can do for his own nation. You're gonna sit there and make your nation go into another nation and get mistreated so you can be part of their nation. I mean, you literally are sitting in somebody's restaurant that don't want you there, so you can get them your money, and it's destroyed us to this point.
And another reason I think that he might just really hated Martin Luther King was because he knew that he wasn't who he said he was. He, like you're saying, he had all his evidence. He got evidence on Martin Luther King too. Yeah. So he got, got them tapes of him in chasing the white girls down the hall. You know what I'm saying? Him smoking cigarettes, him doing this, him doing that, cheating on his wife and everything.
And you about to find out. They about to state it. Keep going.
And urged his agents to use imaginative and aggressive tactics against King and the SCLC. To this end, agents bugged King's hotel rooms, tape recorded his infidelities.
Say that again.
Tape recorded his infidelities.
Say that again.
Tape recorded his infidelities.
One more time.
They tape recorded his infidelities.
Tape recorded his infidelities. Tape recorded his white women. You dig? You can't say nothing against that. And then what they about to do after that? Watch this. Go ahead.
And mailed a recording along with a note urging King to commit suicide to the civil rights leader's wife.
Say it again.
And mailed a recording along with a note urging King to commit suicide to the civil rights leader's wife.
They going hard on him. They messing him up psychologically now. Go ahead.
So is this the first episode of Cheese?
Could have been, I guess. But hey, that lets you know though, man. He don't want to just make you look bad. He want to destroy you in the mind. You know what I mean? He wants you like to where you can't sleep. Like everything that you doing now, you gotta know that you being surveillanced or recorded. Keep going.
The Cointelpro operation against the radical Black Panther Party, whom Hoover considered a black nationalist hate group, tried to pit the party's leaders against each other while also fomenting violence between the Panthers and an urban gang.
Now look, here we go. When we talked about what was happening with what was that, Chukwunakwam?
With them and us.
Us. They were literally gangbanging. They were going so hard at each other that lives was being lost. And I'm talking about the Black Panthers in the organization US that Meringue, I think it's Meringue.
Yeah,
is that his
something
name?
like that.
Something
Karinga.
Karinga was in charge of US, and he was an agent himself. See, well, the guy that created Kwanzaa, he's an agent, man. Keep going.
In at least one instance, FBI activities did lead to violence.
There you go. Is that it for that?
Keep going.
Okay, what you got? How many you got left?
I got 2 pages.
Okay, cool.
In 1969, an FBI informant to
Just take your time, man.
culminated in a police raid that killed Illinois Panther chairman Fred Hampton and others.
Say that again.
In 1969, an FBI informant tip accumulated in a police raid that killed Illinois Panther chairman Fred Hampton and others.
Now, see, that's talking about an informant that was an agent that gave information where he was going to be at. That did what?
That accumulated in a raid that killed Illinois Panther chairman Fred Hampton and others.
There you go. That man died because somebody's agent snitched and told him where he was. Keep going.
More than a decade later, the Federal Reserve agreed to pay restitution to the victims' survivors, and a federal judge sanctioned the Bureau to cover up the facts in the case.
Now, did you just hear that?
Salaki. They told him to cover up all the evidence.
Here's the thing. They had an agent to snitch where he was at. They kill him. They find him. They kill him. Then they give out money to I guess restitution.
Yes.
They give out money to quiet everybody. Now with you being quiet, we just gonna cover this up and sweep it under the rug. So I just basically paid for you to shut the hell up so we can get rid of this dude from the Black Panthers. He pulled too much weight. That's what just happened. Go ahead.
Political changes in the early 1970s weakened Hoover's position. Critics in the media and Congress began to question Hoover's methods, and the newly created Freedom of Information Act, FOIA 5 USCA under subparagraph 552.
Oh yeah, you ain't gotta read that.
Promised to pierce the veil of secrecy that had always protected.
Like it. Hold up, Go ahead. Go ahead. Let me see that. Let me see how much. Let me get to the. Oh, it's just these two?
Yeah.
This right here? You already read this? Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, select.
In 1971, a break-in at the U.S. field office in Pennsylvania yielded secret documents that were ultimately published. Fearing great exposure of FBI counterintelligence programs, Hoover formally canceled them on April 28, 1971.
So, man, somebody came up with some documents. Yeah, how about some of something? On sign Christ. Hey, call me, let me know you're all right. Okay, if you can't though, give me a call. Just screw it on. You should be all right. But if you run into any problems, hit me up. That's all right, go ahead. But what just happened though is they had evidence on J. Edgar Hoover, and man, he basically had it canceled. So go ahead, keep going.
Some small-scale operations continued, but the days when agents had carte blanche to carry out their director's will were over. Hoover died May 2nd, 1972 at the age of 77. His death was followed by the realization of his greatest fear. In 1973 and 74, NBC reporter Carl Stern gained access to the Cointelpro documents through an FOIA claim.
Now, this Hoover dies. J. Edgar Hoover dies. Now, once he died, this was it news reporter?
Yes, NBC reporter Carl Stern.
This news reporter Carl Stern breaks into the. Did it say where it was? Okay, well, he breaks into the facility where the Cointelpro documents are, and he snatches them. Go ahead.
More revelations followed, producing a public outcry and leading to an internal investigation by the Attorney General, William B. Saxby.
So, without everything that they find, now they finna do a internal investigation on everything. After the man is dead, all the people that he had in his pocket, they ain't worried about nothing now, so they don't care. So now, this is how Cointelpro really got out there. When this dude broke into that. Then it starts getting more popular. People start really noticing that this is real. You know what I'm saying? Because see, during the time that he's been breaking down all these organizations that we've been talking about, nobody knew what that was, man. Only like if you high up, you know, in government, stuff like that. But this Cointelpro strategy didn't really get out until dude broke in there and released that information. Go ahead.
The U.S. Congress was next. In 1975 and 1976, hearings of the House and Senate Select Committee on Intelligence further probed Cointelpro. Even as Hoover's legacy was laid bare, supporters tried to keep the cover on. House lawmakers kept their committee's report secret. The Senate did not.
Oh, wait a minute. Read that again.
House lawmakers kept their committee's report secret.
Hold up. They still trying to hide that. You see that?
Salah. So he had.
See, we talking about Salaki. We talking about Congress, right? We up in Congress now. And they hiding reports. Why would Congress be hiding reports?
Salah, because he had stuff on them.
Because they in there. Well, go ahead. That's like
that's all I was trying to say.
My bad. Hey, Peter, I beat you to the gun. My bad. Go ahead, though. I just thought that was real important right there, man.
The Senate did not. Its reports released on April 28, 1976, denounced the pattern of recklessness, disregard of activities that threatened our constitutional system.
Hold up. They did what?
Hold on.
They say they dismissed it?
No.
Go ahead, read that again.
The Senate did not. Going back to they tried to.
The Senate pushed it.
No, they was trying to keep it secret.
Right, but the Senate pushed it. They made it go through. Because see, Congress kept it.
Yeah,
they were trying to hide the report. Then the Senate was like, "Nah, we finna find out what this is about." Right? Okay. I just want to make sure that's broke down so people understand. Go ahead.
The Senate did not. Its reports released on April 28, 1976, denounced the pattern of recklessness disregarding of activities that threatened our constitutional system.
Take your breath, man. Take your time. You ain't got to read. We almost done, man. I know you've been reading a lot. This is it right here. Go ahead.
Along with revealing other instances of FBI intelligences under Hoover, the investigation of his activities set in motion a process of reform. Congress ultimately limited the terms of the director of the FBI to 10 years, to be served as a pleasure of the president, a safeguard designed to ensure that no single individual could again run the Bureau indefinitely without check. Details.
So they came, they basically made that position not available anymore, because that position you have too much power. After they broke down Cointelpro and it goes to the Congress trying to hide it, and then the Senate pushes it. Now they realize how much power J. Edgar Hoover really had, and they killing that now. From that point, go ahead.
So what they doing, like you saying, what they doing is make sure not one man had that much power ever again.
Right, because it turned on him. He was what? He turned to a what?
He turned into
a monster.
A monster.
Right. Right.
He turned to a monster. on
He was actually he pretty much was running the whole country. He pretty much, because he had all the presidents in his back pocket. He
Right.
had all the businessmen in his back pocket. He had Congress in his back pocket. He had every agency of the United States in his back pocket.
Yeah, but you gotta understand too, he was probably being controlled too. There's people stronger than him.
I mean, you know
But
what?
I'll tell you this.
I bet they had Salak.
Mhm.
I bet they had, if I may,
Go ahead.
I bet they had his gay stuff. Somebody had his
Exactly.
gay
Because
stuff.
see, that's out.
Yeah.
And I ain't want to go there.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother class. But since Trooper Quam says so, I say this. J. Edgar Hoover had his right-hand man, I've got his name. He had a gay relationship with him. He was seen going to gay parties in New York, somewhere like that. He was always seen in these gay parties. He was dressing in lingerie and some more stuff, man. He had a very sick life, you know what I'm saying? But he act like a tyrant when it's somebody else that he wants to attack. But is that it for that?
Got one more paragraph.
Go ahead. Read that and we'll be done.
Details about Cointelpro continue to be made public throughout government documents.
Okay.
Many sources.
Okay, that's cool. All right, man. And I hope we was able to break down Cointelpro and what it's really about, and that the creator of it, the one that strategized it and made it come to life, was a beast, man. He was a monster created by America, and Cointelpro still exists. So it's nothing that it's disappeared or anything like that, man. It's still here. As far as the U.P.K, man, the Lord is with us, man. We don't worry about none of that. Like I said, if they want to infiltrate us, it'll be the same result as Officer Karash, man. That's strong, brother. You know what I'm saying? So, but my job today, man, I just really wanted to bring out Cointelpro, what it meant to brothers and sisters that may have been confused about what it was, and where it started, and really what was the real purpose of it. And the purpose of it was just to destroy identities, who we are. You know what I mean? And we're supposed to come together as a nation. And there's nothing that's going to ever stop that. And with that, shalom.